Hi, welcome to the part 9 of this video series. Please subscribe to my channel. Please focus on the story and the concepts for surety of passing the exam. For questions 1 to 30, please refer parts 1 to 8 of the video series. Please subscribe to my channel and like my videos. Let's jump into the questions. Question 31. Please pause the video here, read it carefully. So there is a data processing task. It takes 2 hours to run. It should run uninterrupted, else we will have to restart it. We need the most cost effective way. Now these are the 4 options. Quickly scan the options. ECS is more cost effective than EC2. So A is wrong. Our task takes 2 hours to run. Hence B is wrong because Lambda can only execute for 15 minutes. Now C and D have similar options, but one of them is correct. If you see D is using ECS as well as EC2. C is only using ECS. Fargate is a part of ECS. So from a cost effective perspective, we need to save costs. D uses 2 service, C uses 1 service. C is more cost effective. C is my answer. Let's not waste more time. Let's go to 32. So question number 32. Please pause the video and read the question carefully. So there is a website, there is a database, data is sent asynchronously. That means an order is put here, but the confirmation is sent to the guy, to the user, that the order is booked, but the order is still in the queue. And asynchronously means if one record hits website, immediately it will hit the database. That is synchronous. Asynchronous means one record hits at 1 p.m, maybe at 2 p.m it hits the database. That is asynchronous. So we are talking about writes. So under this scenario, which service should be used? Since we are talking about asynchronous, we have to use messaging queue. Where we have messaging queue, if you see the options, A and B are talking about SNS, C and D are talking about FP4, SQS. SQS is the messaging queue. It is used to decouple the applications. That is, they make it asynchronous communication. SNS is used to push messages, SMS, email, mobile push, etc. Since it is talking about asynchronous, that is asynchronous writes to the database, we have to put a middleware application in between, which is SQS. Hence A and B are wrong. Now out of C and D, which one is correct? If you see C, it is talking about in the queue, it is maintaining the database connection. Database connection cannot be maintained in the queue. You have to capture the write. So if this is write, what will happen is it will write the data and drain the queue. That means from the website, the SQS will be here. So one record comes through the website, it stores in SQS, and then it is written to database, and from SQS it is deleted. That's how it will work. If 100 or 1000 record comes, it will be written to SQS, but as suppose database can process only 100 records, so 100 will get processed and it will be deleted from SQS, and then remaining is 900, then again 100 will be processed, and so on. Hence this is the right answer. Let's move to question number 33. Please pause the video and read it carefully. So here goes the story. So you have a huge fleet of EC2 instances, an application is running and it is writing data to DynamoDB. So if you see here, it says program reads and writes to DynamoDB database. So since the application is on, it keeps on writing to DynamoDB, and the DynamoDB database is growing. It is now this big. After 10 days, it's this big. After 1 month, it's this big. So the application requires only 30 days of data, and still it is so big. So what we have to do? We have to create a mechanism to delete the data which is beyond 30 days, so that we only keep 30 days worth of data in this DynamoDB. We will only keep 30 days worth of data. So let's scan through the options. The first option says CloudFormation. CloudFormation provides you infrastructure as a code. That means whenever you have to create a template, if you want to move the code or entire infrastructure from development to production, then you can use this. But our question here does not have this use case, so A is wrong. See, option B suggests use EC2 instance and some scripts to delete the data which is beyond 30 days. Here we are using multiple EC2 services and so on. This is not cost effective, even though the question is not asking for cost effectiveness. It is asking, in fact, you need a solution that is cost effective and time efficient. So this is not cost effective. B is wrong. And option C, it suggests, it tells you to use Dynamo Streams. What is Dynamo Streams? It is a time ordered sequence which captures the changes which has been done to the DynamoDB tables and stores this information for up to 24 hours. It is nothing to do with this use case. This is totally out of context, so C is wrong. That leaves us with just D. See, whenever you have this question, thumb rule, use TTL and DynamoDB to delete the old data. That is a thumb rule. So we have option D as our final answer. Let's look at question number 34. Please pause the video to read the question and understand it carefully. Please focus on the story and the concepts being explained. See, there is a corporate office and there is a data warehouse. Data warehouse is in AWS. That's why I have marked it in orange. And corporate office is on premises. And how do they connect? They connect using Direct Connect. See, this is the documentation. It suggests AWS Direct Connect. Why it is used? To connect on-premises network to one or more VPCs in the same region. That is in AWS. You can establish a 1 to 10 Gbps dedicated network between your on-premises and AWS locations. See, the thumb rule is they want to reduce the data transfer cost. Again, it is all about cost. To reduce the cost, most of the certification questions are about cost. Even if they don't explicitly tell you, it is implicit. They want a cheap solution. Let's scan through the options. First one says the data visualization tool should be put on premises. See, the data visualization tool has to be on AWS. It cannot be on premises, because that will increase the data transfer cost. You have to reduce the data transfer cost. Hence, option A is wrong. Plus, it is using over the internet when you already have a direct connection, which can reduce your cost. It is using internet, which is not good. A is wrong. Let's see B. See, the first part of B is good. It is saying to use the visualization tool on AWS in the same region, which is good. But then it is accessing it over the internet, which is not good, and hence it is wrong. Option C, it suggests to use visualization tool on premises, which is again wrong, because you have to be as close to the AWS region. You cannot be on premises far away from the AWS region. So that's wrong. That leaves us with D. So D is correct. Why? Because it is putting the visualization tool in the same region as the data warehouse. It will reduce the cost, data transfer cost. Plus, it is leveraging the existing data direct connect connection. It will leverage this in the same region. So this is our final answer. Let's look at question 35. Please pause the video and read the question carefully. See, you have a web application. It is writing the data to RDS. Now, the first few days of the month, the analysts are running a lot of queries on this RDS. You see here, these analysts are running a lot of queries on RDS, because of which there is excessive utilization, and you want to reduce the effect of reporting on the online application. That means during those days of the month, if these guys are accessing RDS, it should not slow down the web application here. In such scenarios, always apply this thumb rule. Use read replica to separate the reporting queries, so that there is no load on your web application. Creating a read replica will not slow down your web application. Why? Because this web app will be still using RDS, and these users, analysts, will be using a read replica for their reporting. So it is split, the functionality is split. There will be no performance impact on the web app. Now let's scan through the options. Let's just look for read replica. So B and D are wrong, okay, because only these two have read replicas. And let's see the difference between A and C. The only difference is C has cross-region read replica. You do not need to go to another region to create a replica. You can create in the same region. Here there is no need. They are not talking about global application and etc. So there is no need of going global or doing a cross-region. That's why C is wrong and A is correct. This locks our answer. See, option D, Redshift, you will have to do a lot of work. It says least amount of work. So read replica is the least amount of work. Okay. And standby, option B, is used when one instance fails, then it goes to standby. It is not used for read replica. That's why B and D are wrong. Please subscribe to my channel. Please refer this playlist on AWS Solution Architect. There are 14 videos, 100 questions. That along with this new question playlist will guarantee you passing the exam. Always remember, concepts are the key. You can only pass the exam if you are focusing on the concepts and the techniques I am explaining in this to sort the options and arrive at the right answer. Please remember that techniques are the key. This brings us to the end of part 9. For questions 1 to 30, please refer parts 1 to 8 of this video series. These are all brand new questions. See you in the next part.